Hello everyone, this is Akshay over here and welcome to Akshay's Biology classes. So this is going to be the second part video on pedigree analysis, where in the previous video we had mainly discussed about the symbols and salient features of some of the important patterns of inheritance. So in this second part video of pedigree analysis, I will be solving few questions with respect to those patterns of inheritance. So before we begin, I want to make you people sure that the genotypes basically are the symbols or notations that I will be using for this particular manner. So remember, you can use any symbols or notations. There is no stringent rule that you have to follow these kind of notations. It is just the way how I have been solving it. In the screen, it is very much clear that for the autosomal dominant condition, I have been using two capital alphabet A, and for autosomal recessive condition I will be using two small letter alphabets A. But I have also given a color demarcation that red color mainly indicates the presence of mutated allele or lethal allele, which will lead to the showing of trait in that particular individual. Right? Now, similarly in that particular manner, you can also see that for X-linked dominant and X-linked recessive, I will be using the letter X and Y for the individual. So as I said earlier, there is no stringent rule. There is nothing that you have to follow this pattern only, right? So let's look into the questions directly now. So the first question is that the following pedigree represents the inheritance of a rare disorder. Based on the pedigree, identify the inheritance type. The options are the autosomal dominant, X-linked recessive, X-linked dominant, and autosomal recessive. So if you look into the pedigree diagram, the first generation male is affected, but their children are not affected. Similarly, the second generation male and his partner are also not affected. But in the third generation, you can see that the female and male are both affected. So clearly, it indicates that there is some pattern is being followed. So what is the approach that we have to follow over here? The first approach is always to look whether there is a skipping of generation or not, right? So we have discussed this particular idea in the previous video, and based on that particular point, you can see that the first generation members are affected, but the second generation members are completely healthy. That is, they are not showing the trait, but the third generation individuals are showing, which means that there is a skipping of generation. Clearly, it indicates that this is going to be either autosomal recessive or X-linked recessive, because only these two patterns of inheritance show the skipping of generation, right? So let us check whether our preliminary guessing is correct or not. So let us begin with the genotypes, that is 2 small a, and for the female also 2 small a, but you can see that there's a color demarcation. In the case of male, he is completely affected because both of those two alleles are lethal, that is mutated, hence he is showing the trait. But in the case of female, she is completely healthy and normal. So the male of the second generation who has had children, his genotype will be in this particular way. That is, he is having one normal allele and another allele lethal one. But still he is not showing the trait, hence he is a heterozygous individual, or in simple terms, he is a carrier. Similarly, we have to also assume that his partner is also having the same genotype. Only when you can see that the third generation female is also affected, and in the same fashion, third generation male individual is also affected. So we have seen that pedigree follows autosomal recessive condition, but whether the same pedigree also follows the X-linked recessive condition, let us check it out. So let us consider the genotypes in this particular manner, where the male is having one X and one Y, and that X itself is again affected, meaning that he is having that lethal gene in that X chromosome, and the female is completely healthy. Her both two X chromosomes are not carrying any lethal mutations. Now you can see that the male in the second generation is having completely normal X and Y chromosome. But however, we have to consider his partner's genotype in this particular way, where one of the X is carrying the lethal mutation, but the another X chromosome is completely normal. So in the third generation, the male will be affected because he will be inheriting one lethal X chromosome from his mother, but father will be giving only his Y chromosome. But however, in the case of female of third generation, this is not possible. She cannot be affected if it is going to be an X-linked recessive, because her genotype needs to be both the X chromosomes being affected, or at least one X chromosome affected and another X chromosome being normal. So when second possibility is considered, she will be a carrier, but according to the pedigree question, she is affected individual, right? So if she needs to be affected, which means that both of her X chromosomes need to be carrying those lethal mutations, or she will be a carrier if only one of her X chromosome is carrying this mutation. Hence, we can conclude that this particular pedigree follows a autosomal recessive pattern. Hence, the answer is going to be D, that is autosomal recessive. Let us look into the another question. Identify the inheritance type in the following pedigree. The options are autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, X-linked dominant, and sex-limited. So sex-limited traits are basically the traits which are limited to only one sex individual, either male or female. So the pedigree diagram is in this particular manner. The first generation, both male and female are affected. In the second generation, no individual is affected. Both of the male and female are healthy, but the female is married to a male who is affected. As a result, the third generation male is affected, but the female is completely healthy. Based on the pedigree, here you can say that there is no skipping of generation, because the first generation individuals, although they are affected and their children are not affected, but the second generation female is married to a affected individual. So this clearly shows trait which must be a dominant. So based on the options, we can say that it might be autosomal dominant or it might be X-linked dominant. So let us check out our hypothesis or our assumption as of now. Let us consider the genotypes in this particular manner, where the first generation male is having a normal allele, but the another allele is mutated or lethal, and presence of only one allele is sufficient to induce that particular trait. Similarly, the female is also affected. As a result, we will consider the same genotype there also. So we can see that the male in the second generation is completely unaffected because he is having those two alleles which are completely normal. Similarly, even the female is also unaffected, so which we can say that she is carrying normal alleles which she has got from the father and mother. But however, for the male who has been married to the second generation female, his genotype will be in this particular manner, where he is carrying one lethal allele. So you may ask, why not both the alleles being in a red color? That is capital alphabet A and capital alphabet A, both these two alphabets in the red color. It may be possible, but however, we have to consider this possibility where he is carrying only one lethal allele. Okay, why? You people will be shortly knowing it. So you can see that the third generation male is affected because he is carrying that one lethal allele from his father. Now similarly, according to the question, the female of third generation is completely normal, which means that she might have got one normal allele from her father and completely normal allele from her mother. Hence, she is completely normal. So now, why not X-linked dominant? This pattern is following the autosomal dominant. Okay, good. But why not the X-linked dominant? Because if you remember from our previous video discussion, for the X-linked dominant, we had one specific statement stating that the affected male or affected father will transmit the trait to all of his daughters, which we are not seeing in this particular pedigree diagram. You can see that the first generation male is affected, but his daughter in the second generation is completely normal. Similarly, the affected male who is married to the healthy female of the second generation, even they are having a daughter in the third generation, but even that daughter is also completely normal. So based on this particular statement, we can completely rule out that this pedigree does not follow the X-linked dominant. So hence, our answer is going to be autosomal dominant. So let's look into another example. Identify the inheritance type in the following pedigree. Autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, X-linked dominant, and X-linked recessive. So now here the pattern is the same way, where you can see that the first generation male and female are completely healthy. They are not having the trait. But in the second generation, out of 3 males, 2 males are affected and all the 3 females are healthy. The third male is married to an healthy male and they are having a family. Out of 4 children, 2 are male, both are affected, and 2 are female who are completely healthy, right? So now here you cannot say confidently whether it is going to be a dominant condition or a recessive condition. But however, we have to consider one specific point over here. Maybe autosomal dominant or maybe X-linked dominant condition. There is one important statement that we have discussed in our previous video, and that is the affected individuals are born to affected parents, right? So you can see that the second generation males who are affected, they are born to unaffected parents. Similarly, the third generation males who are born over here, they are born to unaffected parents, which means that it might be a recessive condition. So again, based on this one statement, we have to check that whether it's going to be an autosomal recessive or X-linked recessive. I would like to also make another statement over here that in the case of X-linked recessive, the salient feature is that males are more affected and the affected male is born to a carrier mother. A carrier mother or a carrier female is basically an individual who is having the lethal allele, but herself she is not affected. She is not showing the trait, right? And such individuals we call them as carriers. So clearly you can see that our argument more fits towards the X-linked recessive. So we can check this out. The first generation male is completely healthy, but however the female, we have to consider her as the carrier. Now, the second generation male who is affected, his genotype will be in this particular way, where one X chromosome is coming from his mother, but that X chromosome is carrying the lethal mutation, and the father is contributing only the Y chromosome, hence he is having that particular trait or showing the trait. Similarly, the second male of the second generation who is affected must be having the same kind of genotype. As a result, he is affected. But what about the third male of the second generation? He is unaffected because he is carrying that one normal X from his mother and then Y from the father. So we shall now proceed to the second generation last female who is being married, who is married. Her genotype will be in this particular manner, where one X chromosome she is carrying completely normal and another X chromosome is having a lethal mutation. Hence, she is a carrier. Even her mother in the first generation, she is also carrier. What about the husband that she is married to? What about the man she is married to? He is completely normal. No issues over here. So you can see that the third generation male is affected because he has inherited that lethal X chromosome from his mother and normal Y chromosome, which is of no concern. Similarly, the male over here is also affected because he is carrying the same lethal chromosome from his mother. Now, what about these two females in the third generation? They may be carriers or they may be completely healthy. You can check out the possibility by yourself. It's a small task for you. Hence, we can say that it is an X-linked recessive. But if we solve the same pedigree for autosomal recessive also, the pattern follows. You can still say that it is following the autosomal recessive pattern also. But why did we stick on to X-linked recessive? Because the statements what we had made just a moment ago, that the affected male is born to a carrier female and more males are affected than the females. In the case of autosomal recessive, if you remember properly, we had also said that the trait appears in both sexes with equal frequency, which we are not seeing in this particular pedigree diagram, right? Hence, we can say that this particular trait or pedigree follows X-linked recessive. Now, moving on, we will look into another type of inheritance. Identify the inheritance type in the following pedigree. The options are autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, X-linked dominant, and X-linked recessive. So you can see that the first generation male is affected, but his partner is completely healthy. But now here in the second generation, only females are affected, but the males are healthy. And the affected female from the second generation who is married to a healthy male, their children, out of 4, there are 2 males and 2 females. Again, only 1 male is affected and 1 female is affected. But the remaining 1 male and 1 female are completely healthy. Now, as I said, what is the first approach that you have to take, whether there is a skipping of generation or not? Clearly, it indicates that there is no skipping of generation because it appears in first generation, second generation, and also in the third generation, which means that it is going to be a dominant trait where we are having only 2 options, that is autosomal dominant or X-linked dominant. So now let us check out whether this is going to be an X-linked dominant or autosomal dominant. So let us solve the possibility for X-linked dominant. We will consider the genotype in this following manner, where the male is affected, which means that he will be having that one lethal X chromosome, but the normal Y chromosome. The female is completely healthy, which means that both of her X chromosomes are carrying no mutations. So you can see that the females who are having the trait means that she is getting one of the X chromosome with the lethal mutation from her father, because her mother, both of the X chromosomes are completely normal, right? So she will receive one normal X chromosome from her mother, but the affected X chromosome is coming from her father. Similarly, another female in the second generation is also affected, because in the same way she is also getting that affected X chromosome and a normal X chromosome. But what about the males? You can clearly see that both of those two males will be getting their normal X chromosome from their mother and a Y chromosome from their father. Now what about the third female? Even her genotype will be in the same manner as the previous two females. Now what about her partner? His genotype is a normal X and Y chromosome. Now you can see that all of the third generation genotypes is in this particular manner. The third generation female who is affected over here, she's getting the lethal X chromosome from her mother, but a normal X chromosome from her father. Similarly, the affected male is getting a normal Y chromosome from his father, which is of no concern, but however, the X chromosome that he is getting is from mother, and that is an affected X chromosome. But the remaining two individual, where one of the male is completely unaffected because he is getting a normal X chromosome from his mother and a normal Y chromosome. Similarly, the female of the third generation, she is carrying normal X chromosomes, because one X chromosome completely healthy from the father and another X chromosome from the mother is completely normal one, carrying no mutations or lethality. So based on this, we can say that it is an X-linked dominant condition. But why not autosomal dominant condition? No, we have to go back to the same discussion from the previous video, where we had discussed one salient feature of the X-linked dominant condition. Affected male individual will transmit the trait to all of his daughters, right? So you can see that the first generation father who is affected, he has given all the trait to his daughters only, not to his sons. Similarly, in the case of a mother who is affected over here, she is transmitting the trait to half of her children, which means that out of two males, one of the male is affected, and out of two females, one of the female is affected. So this clearly follows and fulfills the conditions of X-linked dominant and not the autosomal dominant condition. So we can completely agree that this trait is an X-linked dominant trait. So that is it for this particular video, where we have discussed some of the examples for pedigree analysis, how to solve it. So in the examinations, this is one way, one kind of a question that you people can expect. But simultaneously, you can expect other type of pedigree questions where they may not ask you to predict the inheritance pattern, but however they may ask you the probability of the individuals who may be affected. So that is going to be a video for some other time, which I'm planning for, and let's meet in another video discussing another important and interesting concepts. So till then, goodbye. Thank you.